I have a George story. Would you like to hear a George story, Ben?
Yeah, I do.
Good, because I was going to tell it anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I'm getting your opinion matters.
I can't
quite a lot
stop
to me.
you, so
Yeah,
I just like hang on. You know, it's like hang on.
It's like that poster from the 70s, like a little cat. It's like
hang in there.
Hang in there. It's a George story. So
let's do this.
This story, we will call this the Ballad of the Krystal Pistol. And that's Krystal with a K, my friend, because we know how to spell down here in Tejas. So it was a dark and a George story. I don't know, whatever. So it was a dark and stormy night. No, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. So it was spring break, and I believe this would be, I was 18 or 19 years old. So this would have been in 87 or 88. And it was spring break, and everybody had saved their money in Texas. We had, and especially in Dallas, we have a long-standing tradition that we go to South Padre Island for spring break, which I highly recommend people do. It was a lot of fun, and people still do it, and it's still a lot of fun. But none of us were going. There was a whole bunch of us, and there was like 8 of us, and we were all just hanging out. It was, nobody had anything to do. And so somebody said, well, let's go to a strip club. Now I'm 18 or 19 years old, and to get into a strip club, you have to be 21 in Texas, unless it's a BYOB club.
They've got those in Jersey. Yeah.
It's not pretty. So anyhow, so I get this plan together, and the linchpin of this plan, the keystone to the whole proceedings is that I borrow my parents' van. My parents have always had custom vans for road trips, and so I had to get their van. So I got their van, which was a very nice van, and I proceeded to load up with our city's biggest collection of no-gooders, just the dreckest, wretched, horrible people that I went to high school with. I love you guys, really. And anyway, so we load up the van, and we head to a burger joint called Cactus Jack's here in Dallas. It's no longer here. You'll find out why very soon. But not only did they have excellent hamburgers, but they also sold beer by the case, which is a little odd. But usually you can't buy beer where you get hamburgers. But anyway, so we start collecting money. Nobody in this van is of legal age to buy alcohol, by the way. The oldest person in the vehicle is probably 20. And so we collect money from everybody, and I nervously look in the window because I'm a bashful little child at this point. And I said, yes, we need 5 cases of beer. And I was praying to God that this person would be like, are you insane? But that was not the response. So like, all right, that's $32.50 or however much it was. I'm like, oh, shit. So I give him the money, and the guy's like, I'll be right back. And I'm like, why are you doing this? This is horrible. We're children. Don't you know? And so while he leaves, my friends, who are obviously the models of morality and decency, start violently rocking the van in the drive-thru. Okay. So this guy comes back with 5 cases of beer to a van that looks like it's hit the high seas during hurricane season. It's just rock. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm trying to get the beer through the window, while the vans are rocking. This is how the evening started. Okay. This is a serious foreshadowing as to where we're going with this.
Oh, geez.
So we get all our booze, and we go hightailing down to the Krystal Pistol with a K. And no, they don't spell pistol with a K. And I'm just like, I don't know what to expect. I don't think at this point I'd seen many naked women in real life. I actually had seen a couple in one of the modeling, or one of the models in one of the animation or drawing courses I took as a child. And I walk in, and this place has like, it's just like you'd imagine a really shitty titty bar to look like from like the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it has like purple shag carpeting. It has like carpeting shag like around the tables, the little round tables with like shag around them. There is no DJ. There's a jukebox. Have you been there? You sound like it sounds so familiar to you that
there was a place in Jersey.
Okay.
It had like a guy at the front behind a piece of plywood.
Exactly.
And you gave him $10 or whatever.
Exactly. Yep.
You went in and it was just like, it was not a good scene in there.
No, it was really bad. And so, so we go in, and there are, I think, 3 women there. 2 of them are waitresses, and one of them is wearing something similar to what sumo wrestlers wear. I don't know. and one of them in a scratchy voice is like, "Are you boys gonna put a song in the jukebox?"
Oh boy.
And I'm just sitting there and I'm just shriveling. I'm just like, this is just horrible. And all my buddies, or at least the vast majority of them, are already like 4 beers in. We've been here for like 2 minutes, and just like, and I'm the designated driver, so I'm sober throughout this entire endeavor. And the first monstrosity, I shouldn't say that. I'm sure she was a lovely woman when she was in her 40s. Swaggers onto the stage. I'm just going to guess that her ethnicity is Inuit.
Okay, interesting.
She appears to be very heavy set, has kind of Asian facial features, very dark skinned, looks a Native American. But and she kind of looks like she's partaken in a couple of voluntary experiments with Dr. Mengele. And she is not well put together. She has mismatched body parts. Things aren't the same size on one side as the other. Everything has a wrinkle on it. All of it is flapping heartily over whatever bottoms you can't see because her belly's sticking over it.
Boy.
And I was just like, this is not what it's like the scene in The Matrix where it's like, not like this, not like this. It's like, this is not what I wanted my first, evening in a strip club to be like. So they're in this ragtag bunch, this motley crew that I have assembled. There are 2 guys I went to high school with. One, we'll leave out their last names, but we'll use our first names. One guy named was Todd, and Todd was about 6'5", 6'6". It was kind of goofy guy. He liked to party, and when he needed to, he liked to fight. And when you're 6'5", and you like to fight, you make a lot of friends because like, hey, get him. And he's like, The other gentleman's name is Adam. And Adam is a little bit more high strung. Adam's about 5'6". And Adam likes to fight, period. He has little men's disease, like on set to 11. And his favorite person to fight is Todd. So one guy's 5'6", the other one's 6'5". They're both about like 4 or 5 beers in. We've been here for a total of 30 minutes, and they start having words with one another. And one of them kind of leans over the table and knocks off one of these super expensive, I imagine they're at least 15-cent ashtrays that smashes on the floor. I don't know how they managed to do it with shag, but they figured out a way. And kind of a scrum kind of takes place. And then they kind of, I see them get shuffled away or whatever. And then like 5 minutes later, somebody taps me on the shoulder. And it's like, man, you need to go. Your friends are outside. And I'm like, okay. And I go out there, and Todd and Adam are now yelling at each other. And apparently the guy behind the guy who took some money at the door pulled a shotgun on them and told them to leave via gunpoint.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh, good.
Yeah.
This is how this night's starting.
Right.
we then start. I don't even know where the hell we were going. I think I was taking everybody back home, and there was half the people in the vehicle wanted to go back to the Krystal Pistol without Adam and Todd. And then the other half wanted to just go home because they knew that things. So needless to say, all of a sudden, Adam and Todd start fighting in my parents' van. Okay.
Okay.
Now the van is once again rocking, but this time we're actually in motion driving down a street, and I lose it. I'm done. I'm like, fuck this shit. I pull over, I open the side doors, and I kick them the fuck out of my car. I'm like, you guys, we're done. We are fucking done. And they won't stop fighting. They start circling each other, the old
my gosh,
1800s. Hey, come on, matey. You know. And I'm like, fuck this. And my two other buddies were like, don't worry, we'll break them up. We'll break them up. I'm like, you're not going to break them up. I've seen this song and dance a million times. No, we got it. I'm like, all right. Adam reaches over, pap, hits Todd in the face. I'm like, bye-bye. Shut the doors, take off. I've now left 4 people. By the way, this is happening at a very, very high rent area of town. It's called Preston Hollow. It's where George Bush now lives. Before the former president. This is high dollar. A
lot of high walls and
lots of front porches with columns on them. You know, that type of neighborhood. So I leave them there to die because at this point I just want to go home and like take a hot bath and fire and just cleanse myself of the evening. But oh no, that's not how things turned out. So we get about halfway home and I realize that all the people that are left in the van are people that want to go back to the strip club. Oh geez. I'm like, oh God. And they're like, look, we still have 3 cases of beer and it's like 8:00. I don't know what time it was. It was, I was like, oh shit. So we couldn't go back to the Krystal Pistol, but fortunately, one door down from the Krystal Pistol was an even smaller and shittier strip club, which didn't even have shag. They had like linoleum. They were like hosing off blood from, it's just like beard, blood, and they're just hosing it off. And actually, there was like one girl there was like really kind of cute, and so she's getting all. So we go in, and she's getting all the attention. Sure. And this is before cell phones, so nobody had any cell phones. Nobody knew what the other group was doing. Right. And so we're there, and we're all getting drunk, and then or they're getting drunk. I'm not, and I'm just like I'm watching the clock. I'm just like, yeah. At this point, it's like I think it's like 1:00 in the morning or something like that, and I'm just frazzled. I'm pissed off that they possibly damaged my parents' van. I'm not used to abandoning my friends in the middle of the fucking street. I have no idea what the hell's going on because there's no cell phones. So we finally kind of wrap it up, and my friends pile back in the car. They're just completely shit-faced at this point. And we go back to my friend's apartment or whatever. And when we get there, all the other guys are there. Yeah. And they're drunk off their ass and laughing and having a great time. And I was like, what the fuck happened to you guys? And they're like, well, it's funny, you dropped us off in the middle of the street and Todd and Adam started beating the shit out of each other. And well, somebody called the cops. I'm like, oh really? What are the odds that you're from a $3 million house fighting in the street and somebody called the police? That's amazing. Now, this was long ago enough that the cops, the Dallas police, you gotta love them, showed up to a bunch of Caucasian males fighting in the middle of the street. They're just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And they're like, well, I don't know. He said something and then that guy said something. So we just started hitting each other. And they're like, get in your car and leave. And they're like, we don't have a car. Our buddy left us here. And they're like, well, can you call somebody? And they're like, no, they haven't invented cell phones yet, which is a very prophetic statement. But it's just like, so there's nobody they can call. They're nowhere near a telephone anywhere other than the one in the mansions. And so the cop's like, fuck it, get in the car. So he piled everybody into the squad car and took them back home. Now that's the way police used to be in the 80s. That's what it used to be like. And so we get there, and then I just drop everybody off, and and everybody they start singing Irish fight songs, or I don't know what the fuck they're doing. And then they're all just having a great time. They all claimed it was the best night of their life. Meanwhile, I'm driving home with shaking, crying. It's like I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on, man. But yeah, so that it took me a long time to ever return to a strip club after that. It was not a pleasant experience visually, emotionally. It was just nothing about it was right. And that was the first time I ever went to a strip club. So yes, let that be the groundwork.
Warning.
Warning to all you kids out there who think you're going to go to a strip club and have a really good time. You're not. It's not a good time. Go gamble. Go do something else.
Go to the library.
Go library.
Go read a book.
Learn how to use nunchucks. I mean, there's a lot of other things you can do.
Feed a duck or something.
Go feed a duck.
Yeah, take some bread down to the ocean and throw it in.
That's right. Pet a seagull. Whatever you kids are doing.
Catch a stingray. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go jump on its back.
Yeah.
They love that. So it's about the same as going to the Krystal Pistol.